Ashtavakra Gita, Chapter 1, Verse 6. Recognize that you are neither the doer nor the experiencer. You are always free and liberated. Prasad Bharadwaj. Verse 6. Garmadharmo sukham dukkham mansani nate vibho. Na kartasi na bhoktasi muktat evasi sarvada. Meaning, Dharma, righteousness, Adharma, unrighteousness, pleasure, and pain are attributes of the mind and intellect. They do not belong to you. O Lord, recognize that you are neither the doer nor the experiencer. You are always free and liberated. Explanation. In this verse, sage Ashtavakra reveals a fundamental truth about mental state and life's reality to his disciple, King Janaka. He explains that concepts like karma, adharma, pleasure, and pain are all associated with the human mind and intellect. These are not eternal. In human life, they arise due to external factors in the material world. However, these experiences are not connected to the soul. The soul is eternal, independent, and peaceful. As long as the ego exists, two kinds of thoughts persist. First, the belief that one is the doer, and second, the belief that one is the experiencer. In the external world, one feels they are performing actions, and internally, they feel they are mentally experiencing things. These two thoughts together manifest as the ego. 1. Dharma and Adharma. Dharma refers to righteous, moral actions, while Adharma refers to wrongful, immoral actions. These thoughts originate in the mind. Only the mind and intellect think in terms of Dharma and Adharma. When the ego interacts with the world, it desires good but is compelled to commit wrongs. As a doer, one has to engage in both good and bad deeds. As an experiencer, one continues to experience pleasure and pain. In this way, the ego remains trapped in the cycle of dualities and the conflicts they generate, unable to escape from suffering and pleasure. However, the verse conveys that the soul is unaffected by these dualities. The soul is pure and neutral. What Ashtavakra is teaching is that only those who identify with the roles of doer and experiencer go through these ups and downs. The soul remains untouched by them. 2. Pleasure and pain. Pleasure refers to joy and delight, while pain refers to suffering and sorrow. These two are temporary sensations experienced through the mind and senses. The desire to have only pleasure without pain or conflict is a trait of the mind and intellect. The Guru here tells the disciple that these dualities have no relevance to you, so live in contentment. As the eternally pure soul, you have no conflicts or problems. These are merely constructs of the ego. The experiences of the external world do not touch the soul. They come and go, and these emotions belong only to the mind and senses. The soul, being eternal, is unaffected by pleasure and pain. 3. You are neither the doer nor the enjoyer. The doer refers to the one who performs actions, and the enjoyer is the one who experiences the results. The ego creates these two feelings. It is the ego that keeps a person in the belief of being the doer and the enjoyer. The thought I am doing this is the feeling of doership, and the thought I am experiencing this is the feeling of enjoyship. But Ashtavakra emphasizes that the soul is neither the doer nor the enjoyer. When the ego identifies itself as the doer, it judges and discriminates between good and bad according to the intellect's values. Likewise, the ego tied to the mind experiences both pleasure and pain. These are merely mental constructs. 4. You are ever free. This part reveals that we are always liberated, meaning the soul is eternally independent and beyond bondage. It is only due to the ego that we feel bound. The soul is inherently free. Once the ego dissolves, we realize this truth. The nature of the soul and ego. As long as the ego persists, we cannot realize the soul. The ego gives rise to the feeling that I am the doer and I am the enjoyer. It insists on its central role in all actions and experiences pleasure and pain. This ego traps you in the dualities of happiness and sorrow, causing mental unrest. If the ego exists, you cannot perceive the soul. The notions of doer and enjoyer are mere illusions of the ego. The soul, however, is independent and a mere witness. It is the embodiment of eternal bliss. The ego leads a person to believe they are the doer and the enjoyer. Due to this egoic belief, we live with the thought, I am doing this. The mind harbors two primary notions: 1. The doership thought, I am doing, and 2. The enjoyership thought, I am experiencing. These two can be identified as aspects of the ego. When the ego persists, we continue our journey in the world through the dualities of Dharma and Adharma, pleasure and pain. As the doer, we bear the responsibility of doing good or bad. In the process of action, we also become the enjoyer of the fruits of those actions. Thus, we experience both pleasure and pain due to this duality. These thoughts of being the doer and enjoyer are merely creations of the ego. In truth, the soul transcends these notions. Once the ego is dissolved, the eternal freedom and independence of the soul are experienced. In this verse, Ashtavakra clearly states that the beliefs of being the doer and the enjoyer arise due to the ego. In reality, we are eternally free and liberated. But as long as the ego remains, we perceive conflicts and dualities in the world. Only by transcending the ego can we break free from these dualities and realize true freedom. The mental constructs of doership and enjoyership collectively function as the ego. When we detach from the mind and intellect, when these ideas of I am fade, the ego dissolves, leaving only the blissful essence of the soul. Dear Divine Source, let us continue this journey of spiritual understanding with the explanation of the 7th verse of Ashtavakra Gita in the next video. Jai Gurudev. Blessings of peace and love to all divine souls watching. Thanks for watching and understanding. Like, subscribe and share with your loved ones. Don't forget to hit the bell icon for future post alerts. Stay tuned to Chaitanya Vignanam Spiritual Wisdom YouTube channel for future videos. Prasad Bharadwaj.